Welcome to the world according to Mike Graham. We've got a big show for you tonight, including my deep dive into what's gone wrong at Doctor Who. Plus, of course, we'll have Trump's takedown and Prime Minister for a week. Viewers all around the world used to love Doctor Who, but that was until it became woefully woke. To mark the show's 60th anniversary, the BBC brought back fan favourite David Tennant in a desperate bid to save the show from being exterminated. But sadly, producer Russell T Davies had other ideas. First up, he decided the Doctor's archenemy Davros should no longer be in a wheelchair because he didn't want to associate disability with evil.
There's a problem with the Davros of old in that he's a wheelchair user who is evil. And I had problems with that, and a lot of us on the production team had the problems with that, of associating disability with evil. I say, this is how we see Davros now. This is what he looks like. This is 2023, and he looks like this now. And that we are absolutely standing by.
Next up, the Doctor is told off by a transgender character after he uses the incorrect pronoun to describe a non-binary alien. Well, we've all done that.
Yes, the meep. I promise I can help him get home and then you'll never see me again.
You're assuming he as a pronoun.
True. Yes, sorry, good point. Are you he or she or they?
My chosen pronoun is the definite article.
Shakespeare would be proud. And here's how the BBC's Wokerati reacted to this incredible work of storytelling.
It is important to show the lived reality of trans people.
And there's only one way to end such a special episode: ridicule the Doctor and remind him just how rubbish men really are.
We know everything, thanks.
And you know nothing. It's a shame you're not a woman anymore. She'd have understood.
We've got all that power, but there is a way to get rid of it. Something a male-presenting Time Lord will never understand.
But there's more wokery to look forward to next year with another new Doctor. Here he is explaining why Doctor Who is a beacon for marginalised people.
He's a Time Lord. He's literally an alien. They are an alien. The Doctor is not from anywhere. It's like they don't fit in anywhere. And I think for marginalised people, they have been a real beacon of kind of feeling like seen in a way.
Yep, fans are fuming and viewers are threatening to boycott the show. How long can the Doctor survive? Let's find out from an expert. So, that was the latest from Doctor Who, the 60th anniversary edition. So now, as you would expect, we're going to talk to a proper expert on television and on Doctor Who as well. Here's the one and only Mr. Nigel Pawley. Nigel, very good evening to you. I was thinking about this before we spoke, and you know, the Cybermen were some of the scariest people I think I ever remember hiding behind.
Cyber person.
Well, what do you call? I mean, are Cybermen even a thing now? And they've got in this one, they've got Davros, who I always used to confuse with Stavros, the guy who you know was part Dalek. Apparently now, Russell T Davies says, "Oh no, he was disabled. He wasn't disabled. He was half Dalek. No. So why are you now making him not disabled? He's now walking, for heaven's sake."
That's the whole point. I mean, I think they started losing the plot. Because the one hidden thing we had when we were kids was, how the hell do Daleks? How do you defeat the Daleks? Go up a big flight of stairs and they'll never get there, right. You know. And then they started having flying Daleks.
Yeah.
So, well, this is pushing it a bit. But this little furry thing, which, for those of us old enough to remember Gremlins, and Gremlins were these little furry things that actually turned into nasty.
You don't feed them after midnight.
That's right. And this thing was like a gremlin. So that was a bit of a rip-off.
Yeah.
But then, if you look at the madness of having a science, a creature from outer space landing, with which pronoun is it preferred?
Right.
Do you think that's a bit weird?
Yeah.
No, I've got to say,
it's called a meep, right? So apparently its pronoun is so. From the clip that I've seen, because I haven't watched the show, does that mean its pronoun is the, or is it the meep?
It's yes, it's they. Yes, I don't go down pronoun routes because you end up wherever, but. He had a preferred pronoun. It had a preferred pronoun. It had a preferred pronoun, and they were all very careful not to. The actual lead actor, who was called Rose, was a transgender actor, and I've got to say, to be fair, was a very good actor.
Right.
And played the part very, very well.
And what sort of trans character were they playing? Trans-born man?
That's right, he was a trans actor and they played the part that...
So was he a trans man or a trans woman, though?
Trans woman. It was called Rose. He was previously called James, I think. And there was a bit where some
So
bullies.
here's the
called
question.
them-
If you want to play a trans woman, do you have to be a trans woman or can you be a trans man playing a trans woman?
That would be for someone way above my pay grade.
They got a whole department at BBC for that.
There probably is a preferred. There is a BBC preferred pronoun department, I've no doubt, actually. But I just think it's sad that the BBC, which was set up these Reithian things of entertaining, educating, explaining, whatever, has come down to the fact that when they have a celebration for a much-loved programme that goes back 60 years, they can't just celebrate the programme for what it is, but what they want you to think. And I think that is quite a sad state of affairs, that it's been put down into, this is how we think you should think, and this is hammering home a political statement or a statement that they feel right. Now, fair enough that if people in that situation, they may well want to think they've had a tough life. They need to have it explained, and they feel we should just look at everyone equally. Not a problem with that, but not in Doctor Who. I just don't understand.
Also, the Doctor. I mean, famously, they said when they appointed Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor, didn't they? They said, well, the Doctor is genderless, so why not leave the Doctor as genderless and just have the Doctor, as opposed to they, them, they, the Z, whatever the hell they're going to do. I mean,
it's always been the Doctor, hasn't it? In actual fact, it used to be the man who never had a name,
right?
Because it used to just be they didn't even say it was the Doctor, did they? He used to say, I'm the Doctor, but then after that, nobody ever said anything.
That's
he just used to turn up.
And he was from another planet, and he's from another planet, right?
He's got 2 hearts.
He's got 2 hearts, and according to...
And a sonic screwdriver. I mean, they've had to fiddle with a sonic screwdriver that now could probably launch a nuclear missile. Previously, it was like basically a Phillips screwdriver with a light on it, wasn't it? They could make a bit of a work.
Is it gender-specific screwdriver? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I believe you might have to hold it with your left hand for certain things and right hand for the other, Mike. I don't know, but
I don't know where it's all gone wrong, to be honest, Nigel. I mean, I've got to put you... You'll be surprised to know that I was reading an article in Pink News today, and it said, Doctor Who's trans storyline has bigots raging. Now, I don't consider you to be a bigot or me. We're not raging. We're just saying, what's the bloody point of it all?
Yeah.
You know?
The whole point
Doctor Y would be a good title for it.
I don't have a problem with that, and fair play to people who have to live their lives and they want to live a life, and everyone is entitled to live how they want to live. But if you're going to celebrate something, let's just celebrate it without hammering home a political point or any culture point. Let's just say what it is. Doctor Who, for me, the storyline was, or the big selling point was, David Tennant, the best Doctor Who, is back with Catherine Tate, the best assistant, apart from possibly Billie Piper, but she's back. What 2 fantastic actors! How can they sell this to the world? This flagging, this program that is flagging ratings-wise, it's not what it was. This could be the big boost to push it forward, back up there. What do? Make it sort of dreary, and if you say the wrong thing. Now the whole thing is, people are wandering around worrying about what they call this furry creature. And that shouldn't be what it's about, should it?
I know, what a load of old cobblers. Well, anyway, listen, Nigel, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. And bigots are us, apparently. But there we are. Doctor Who, why? Where? You know, that was our deep dive for today. We've heard that Hunter Biden is going to be giving evidence before Congress next week. But here's Trump's takedown.
You are a rude, terrible person. You shouldn't be working for CNN.
Working Americans aren't idiots. And they know who's on their side.
To American workers watching their take-home pay shrink and watching inflation destroy their family and their lives, to all of you, I have your back.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
Well, that's the end of part 1 of The World According to Mike Graham. Coming up next, though, it's Prime Minister for a week and my big apology. Welcome back to The World According to Mike Graham. Now, time for Prime Minister for a week. So now it's time for you to meet the two people who are bidding to be Prime Minister for a week. And I'm delighted to say for the first time on this show, Claire Muldoon is here. Claire, very good evening to you. Thanks for coming.
You're welcome.
Sam Dowler as well. First time for you too.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's start off with your first thing here.
Hungary have got a great system going whereby they actually promote children, which is great. And they actually promote parents staying at home, either if they're not working or if they can't, to actually stay at home and look after the children.
Yes.
In the sense that they give them tax breaks. Isn't that fantastic?
Yeah. Didn't we used to do that?
I don't know. I said, well, childcare vouchers, it used to be called.
Not anymore if it was a good idea,
There used to be something given to families, like family allowances and things, that would encourage you to have children.
But Mike, moreover, this tax that Hungary has done, and it's evidenced actually, that actually has increased the birth rate as well.
Yeah.
And it promotes really good, solid family, societal values.
Right.
And with the ageing population that we have, birth rates falling off the cliff, and don't mention the environment when we talk about having children, please. Completely and utterly debunked.
Right.
We have to keep having children. We have to keep supporting society. And if these tax breaks are only for a chunked period of time, don't forget, this is not indefinitely, and it's for childbearing women from the ages of 25 to 30, at least in Hungary.
The NHS
only five years.
They won't like that, the NHS. You can't call them childbearing women, can you? I mean, you can't call them childbearing women.
No, you can't. Chest feeders.
Chest feeders.
Childbearing people.
Yeah, childbearing people. That's I'm not joking. That's what the HMRC would call them. But I like that. That's a good start.
You know, let's get this onto. Let's underpin family values.
Yeah.
Underpin the ageing population. Underpin the ability for families to spend time with their children instead of leaving them latchkey kids. Instead of having to let someone else drag them up instead of bringing them up.
A very good idea, Sam. What have you got to fight that with?
Well, I mean, it's not even a fight, really. It's quite similar. I'm saying overhaul the entire of the care sector.
Right.
My partner has worked in the care sector for many years, and he was
What's wrong with it?
He was making quite a good wage, not really a good wage compared to what other people do. But now he works as a teaching assistant at a school for severely mentally and physically disabled children.
Yeah.
He gets paid just the headmistress when he took the job was, can you afford to live on this wage?
Right.
He can afford to live because we live together, and I make more than him, so I can facilitate our lifestyle. But explain to me how one of the most challenging and difficult jobs in the country, caring for the elderly, like you said as well, and also for
and who sets the pay for that?
Well, the government. Well, the government.
There are different.
Or is it private care?
Yeah, but there's private care homes and there's NHS care homes. It's all a pittance. And also, and in a private care home, obviously it's extortionate for the elderly people that live there, or the disabled people that live there, and you know the people above that and above that who own the companies make a fortune.
There's
they take home dividends.
Who owns a care home. That's
exactly, sure. But that's why there's such a giant
So what you want to
turnover.
do is just raise the wages, basically.
Well, yeah, but then you would have to change the system in order to raise the wage.
I think there's so much to tap into the care system actually, and especially patients with dementia. Care homes aren't facilitated towards, and they're not geared towards patients with dementia because it's a horrible illness that robs people of everything, and it robs the parents, the people who have got to care for them.
Also,
a
system which makes you pay for your own care by selling your home as well is also wrong. But we've got to get on. Your next one, Claire.
Right, get rid of devolved parliaments. Now include Mark Drakeford in Wales. I'm including in this, obviously.
Kim Jong Drakeford, we call him.
Yes. And also the reigning Supreme cohort in Scotland.
Useless.
Hamza useless, and the rest of them, of the cabal of the SNP. Why? Can anyone tell me why he is at COP28 in Dubai?
Well, because presumably he's trying to escape yet another scandal at home.
Well, the other scandal, of course, is the fact that there's two members of his parliament that are apparently reported to have had an extramarital affair during lockdown, a la Matt Hancock. You know, who actually was caught on camera, but I don't know who they are.
Are there salacious photos like there were with Matt?
Haven't a clue. Wouldn't want to see them. The worst picture I've ever got of Hamza is him falling off his scooter.
Yeah, we like that.
You know, we like that. So anyway, back to the devolved regional councillors. There is absolutely no need for them. Scotland gets the Barnett bung constantly.
Yes. And did you see their expenses the other week? 25 million or something like that.
And not 595 million they're going to get from the Westminster autumn statement.
Yes.
That still wasn't good enough for Shona Robson. She was still complaining there wasn't enough. They can't handle their fiscal matters.
No.
They can't handle education. They can't handle the health service. They can't Run a bath,
No.
Mike.
All the devolved matters are in worse shape in Wales and in Scotland than they are in England.
Of
and
course
that's saying
they are.
something.
And
It's pretty bad here.
It's pretty bad here, but they constantly play the blame game.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
They do.
And it's not my fault, it's someone else's fault. Take responsibility,
Yeah.
for heaven's
That's all
sake.
politicians, surely.
Absolutely.
Just
Yeah,
take
but I mean, this is
responsibility.
extra money that we didn't used to have to spend, but now
It's
we
called
do.
the Barnet Bung.
And
That's
nobody,
what we call it,
and
the Barnet
nobody
Bung.
is actually any better off in Scotland or in Wales. I
Worse
like that
off.
a lot. Like that a lot. Sam, what's your next one?
Well, funnily enough, people are better off in Scotland for my next point. So it's to do with the housing.
I don't know whether you've been up to Scotland lately, but I can
Yeah.
assure you that they're not.
It's to do with the housing crisis. It's to do with something personal that happened to me this week.
Yeah.
Was I am buying a flat. We were in a chain of 8 families, and 3 days before, everybody was due to complete, move, and the person at the top of the chain decided that they wanted to move in January. And everybody just had to suck it up. With 3 days' notice, no penalty, no nothing, they don't have to pay for people's movements that they're already paid for. Whereas in Scotland, you cannot do that. Once there has been an agreement, you are legally bound to do so. And in England, and this happens all the time. And I tried to, because I'm new to this game. I was like, explain to me how this is okay. And they were like, oh, there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah.
So as PM for the week, I would do something about that.
So you're talking about gazumping then,
Yes,
or more than the housing crisis?
Nobody's been gazumped. It's just a change of date.
But people would have people have already moved out, for example, and now I have to
Well, I'll
rent
tell you what,
because somebody doesn't fancy moving in when they said they were going
things
to.
like that can happen. I sold a house once in Scotland, and I realised that when I'd already agreed to sell it to the people who were going to buy it, that actually there was a penalty clause in my mortgage, which I didn't know about. So I had to keep it for an extra month. Otherwise, I've had to pay some ludicrous penalty. So I said to them, look, I'm terribly sorry about this. Would you mind awfully if we move a month later than we were going to? And being Scottish, of course, they wanted money. So I had to pay for their flat that they were living in for that month and leave them all the white goods.
I'm sorry I did that to you, Mike, all those years ago.
Well, I think that should be the case in England and Wales as well, because you
can always ask.
Because all we did was all the lawyers did go and ask this person. They were like, oh no, I don't fancy it. I'm getting married in December.
Yeah,
so
but this
no.
is the free market. You see, you can't complain about it, Sam, because one day you might be on the good end of it. I mean, I'm not buying it. Claire, what's your third one?
You're not buying my flat?
No. Well, I will buy it. Where is it?
In Wellington City in Hertfordshire.
Oh God, no. Claire, sorry. On with your third one.
I think this is the best.
You're lucky you can sell it at all in Wellington City.
I'm buying it.
I'm sorry, guys. Hang on. I've got a big bang
Come on,
here.
this is a big one.
Got a big bang.
Big ban. This is a ban on oat milk.
Excellent.
And I'll tell you why. Oat milk is the purge of society.
Yes.
These Gen Zers, they rock up, avocados out of stock, shelf gone. They're offended by something someone said. Oh, don't look at me like that. Why are you looking at me like that? You can't say that to me. I'll tell you what I will say. No more oat milk in your chai latte.
No.
No more oat milk in your flat white. Oat milk
Have you ever tasted
has gone.
it?
I have.
What about
I don't
almond?
think I've ever had it.
Are you saying the same about almond milk and any of the nut
Any
milks?
of the nut milks, any of them. Just
anything
deal
that's
with...
not milk,
But
basically.
what if somebody's lactose intolerant? Surely they should be able to have an alternative.
There's no such thing as lactose
Oh
intolerance.
my
Just have your
heavens!
tea with lemon then.
Say that to my farting member of family over Christmas.
Well, if you're lactose intolerant, you can't have milk, so don't have it.
No,
right?
you can have it, but it gives you a stomach upset.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So you wouldn't.
So it's a choice.
And all of us are actually technically a little bit lactose intolerant because we're not really supposed to drink the milk of another animal.
Oh,
how do you even make milk from oats? It's not oats. It's not milk, is it?
well, technically it's not.
Technically, you have to milk
You
a
couldn't
cow.
feed it to a baby.
You have to
No,
get.
it's like
you have to milk a cow.
it's
And
like
then
a faux-
get milk.
I thought all these Gen Zers were supposed to have nut allergies anyway.
Well, they're just
I mean,
nuts.
almond milk, that's it,
Yeah.
Mike. They
Yeah.
are just nuts.
I'm never taking any
Keep the
kind of
oats
milk.
for the Scottish porridge.
Yeah, I mean, I put cream in porridge sometimes before I put oat milk in it. You know,
Cream's nice with some cornflakes, I have to say.
Yeah, of course. I mean, my mother used to have carnation.
Carnation or
her
My granny did as well.
Yeah, evaporated.
On toast, carnation on toast. Yeah.
Well, only if it curdles. But
Yeah.
I think she's beating your hands down here,
Yes.
Sam. You're going to have to come back with something big at the end. What do you got?
Well, I have got to end the tyranny of the monopoly.
God, your life's hard, isn't it?
The monopoly of
tyranny of motorway service stations.
Well, so since my father passed a couple of years ago, my family all now live in Devon. So, and obviously I live up in Hertfordshire. So it's a 4.5 hour, 5 hour journey.
You've got in for your flat.
Right.
Anybody
Are you
looking
moving closer to Devon than you are now?
Well, the thing
you're moving further away from Devon.
Well, no, I'm staying in Wellington City. My other place was there.
So you're
as
already
well.
in Wellington?
Yeah.
You like it that much?
I'm committed.
Right.
Anyway, but so if you go on a motorway service station, the petrol, not only is it like 30p more at least per litre than anywhere else. Anywhere else, like
there's a rule
where
about
you
that.
Might stop.
Don't fill up at a motorway service station.
Yeah, but also the food
there.
now, for example, is double the price. Like if you go
Don't
to
eat
McDonald's
there.
or a Burger King,
take your own with you in the car.
Yes, I get that, but it's a monopoly, and we have a thing called the Monopolies and Mergers. What is it? Department, commission. Why aren't they getting involved in that? Because it's daylight robbery, frankly.
Well, would you like to have sort of motorway service stations every mile so you could choose which one
I'd like them to be
to?
the same price as
Why
they are
don't you
everywhere
just
else.
take the train?
Well, really?
Yes.
It costs in petrol.
Well, they're always on strike.
In petrol, it costs me about £45 to drive down to Devon. No, £40 like one way.
Not
on the train. On the train, it's about 120.
It's about 1,000 quid.
So therefore, you don't use the motorway service stations if it costs you 40 quid.
Well, no, but I fill up before I go. But other people
so
don't.
What's wrong with that? It's actually more economical to do that. And it's better for the car.
People get caught on the motorway when they're like, oh, I need this and that. And like, you shouldn't have to pay more for something that you need. You don't necessarily need a Krispy Kreme, but why the double the price?
Well, you know, you can answer your own point there for number 4.
How much is oat milk at these places?
Everyone needs £2.10 a carton.
Thank you.
You've actually addressed your own need there, because if everyone needs something, everyone needs a house.
Yes.
So therefore, there shouldn't be any issue about when we're moving, where we're moving.
You shouldn't be able to do it 3 days before everybody, like 8 other families are moving.
Burned you, hasn't it?
You shouldn't. Yeah, it really. I'm just so frustrated by it because it's just thrown everybody's plans out the window.
When you've lived as many years as I've lived, there's a lot worse things that are going to happen to you between now and when you get to my age.
I just don't think it's right in this country that you say to an estate agent, that's not fair, and they say, oh,
it's not.
It doesn't do it in Scotland.
Wait till you have to give the house away to your other half because of some affair you've had.
No, we've signed some forms. Don't worry about that.
Excellent. So you've got a prenup as well. Brilliant. Listen, I mean, these are all great. I mean, I love it. I love it. Very active ingredients for a very good Prime Ministership.
A very good week.
But I have to say, I've got to give it to Claire.
Yes, thank
Nothing
you.
personal. I think you've been poisoned by your own self-interest over the house. And I think it's to run through every single thing that you've said. But I really appreciate you being here. Claire Muldoon, Prime Minister. I would make you Prime Minister now.
Thank you.
Not just for a week. I'd make you Prime Minister until
Too
the next
many
election.
skeletons in my cupboard.
Yeah, well, you know.
Don't quite like the decor that Carrie left.
No.
You can count me out.
OK, all right.
I met her out and about once upon a time at a gig.
Did you?
She was lovely.
She's just like this in real life as well.
She had a few things to say about Boris's government. Though,
Did she?
Off air.
Well, we'll have to hear more from Claire Muldoon, I think. But for now, Prime Minister for a week, Claire Muldoon.
Thank you
Sandown,
very
thank you very
much.
much indeed. That was Prime Minister for the week. And now it's everybody's favourite, my apology of the week. So we thought that maybe, just maybe, there was some peace breaking out in the royal family. There was talk of a Christmas trip from Montecito down to the great Sandringham estate. There was talk of Harry and Meghan possibly visiting with King Charles and Queen Camilla. But then Omid Scobie came back onto the horizon with his new book called The End Game. Is it the end game? I think it might be, but it's not the end game for the royal family. But it could be the end game for Omid Scobie. And I was going to apologise to Harry and Meghan and say, welcome back to the fold. All is forgiven. But I'm afraid all is not forgiven, and I'm not sorry. And I'm bloody glad you're not coming back. That is The World According to Mike Graham for this week. But there'll be much, much more coming up next week at the same time. We'll see you then.